Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome, welcome. Y'all come on in. We are super excited about this week's Founders Chat. And so go ahead and click share. Let your folks know that Sisters in Business Founders Chat is happening now. And tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from, what your business is, so we can shout you out. For those who don't know me, my name is Aisha. I'm the founder and CEO of the Sisters in Business Expo, and we are the country's only multi-city small business expo created specifically to celebrate and educate entrepreneurial women of color. And we are so excited to have you all join us tonight. And we're going to be getting started real soon. So y'all come on in the room. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey, Brooklyn Sweet Spot, how are you? I got to get over there. Keisha always shares the goodness with me, but I need to come and get some of my own. Hey, Taylor Moore. Hey, Tev Media. B.O.B. Lifestyle. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. We are going to be bringing on our guest in just a minute. So in the meantime, tell us who you are, where you're from, what your business is, so we can show you some love. We are just glad to be alive, happy to see another day, happy to have another Founders Chat, to be able to connect with another successful sister in business and hear her story and glean from her experience and learn as much as we can. I hope you all are safe and well and healthy and blessed. We are still pushing our way, pressing our way through this pandemic. It has not been easy and it has not been short, but we are making it through and prayerfully beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know in some other parts of the country, things have become more lax and folks are out in the streets shopping and doing all kind of stuff. But up here in these northern parts, in New York and New Jersey, it is still a very serious situation. We are still sheltering in place, staying at home, quarantining, whatever you want to call it. At least I am. And most of us are. And as they begin to talk about gradually opening things up, while it's nice, my main concern is that it's not too soon. And so we are just making the best out of the situation. Hey, Friday Fairy Simone. Hey, girl, I miss you. So yeah, tell us who you are, what your business is, where you're from, what you do, so that we can shout you out and let the folks know who's on tonight. And go ahead and click share. Let everyone know that we are live for our Founders Chat that will be starting very soon. Taylor said, I ain't going nowhere. I know that's right, girl. As long as people are still dying, I'm still staying in. I need to hear like no more new cases, no more deaths, or very close to zero. Because yeah. Hey, Judas Desserts, how are you? Good to see you. Melanin Beauty Design, hey. Good to see you, good to see you. We're just gonna wait for our guest tonight to join us, and then we'll get started with the Founders Chat. But in the meantime, I hope that you all are blessed. We made a couple of announcements this week. One in particular is that today we announced that our Houston Expo, is going to be postponed until the spring of 2021. So we were initially scheduled to be in Houston in November of this year, but given many factors, which are more than you probably even care to hear, but there are many factors that go into us carrying out an expo, and especially going into a new city. And given all of the things that are happening right now and the rescheduling that we've had to do, it works out best that we go to Houston next year in the spring. So we are still excited about bringing the Sisters in Business movement to H-Town. So when we do land in Houston, we do hope to see all of you there who are local or who choose to travel with us, because many people do. But that was one thing that we announced this week. I also want to let you know that we have some really dope things coming up with our Sisters in Business Expo shop, which is our merchandise and apparel line. And so if you're not on our mailing list, you should be sure to join. The link is in our bio, so that you can get the info on what is happening. One in particular is we're doing a huge spring sale because we have a whole new collection that's coming out. And so we want to wrap up and get rid of a lot of the stuff from our old collection, which is still dope stuff. What I'm wearing right now, About My Black Owned Business. This is one of my favorite items. And so these are all going to be going on sale next week. So stay tuned for those details. And then also we'll be dropping the new line next month. Y'all, it is so dope. So, like Tev said in our post earlier, right now our apparel is pretty much t-shirts and sweats or stretch pants or leggings or whatever, if you're working from home or quarantine. So might as well be cute. And when you step out, might as well rep Sisters in Business, because even when I go out, I'm pretty much in the same thing, some sort of t-shirt and leggings or something. So it's going to be really dope. So if you want to catch the sale items, make sure that you are on our mailing list so that you can get these on sale, as well as some of our other apparel. And yeah, so we're gonna bring on our guest now. I'm so excited, and it's gonna be a great conversation. So like I said, click share, let folks know we are on and we are live.
Hey.
And we will. Hey girl, how are you?
Good.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you for having me
To Sisters in Business Expo Founders Chat. We are so excited to have you with us tonight. And I'm just going to tell folks a little bit about you and then let you tell it all, because I believe the best way to let people introduce themselves is for them to tell about themselves. But we are so excited tonight to have Yetunde Oso with us. She is the founder and CEO of Upper Room Events, which is a leading event company in the tri-state area, but I'm sure they do things in other spaces as well. And she has really just made her mark as an expert and a leader in event planning. And so we try to bring you a diverse group of sisters in business who are making their mark and really setting the standard in a lot of different industries. And so we're especially excited to have her with us tonight. So please help me send some hearts, some love to Yetunde. Welcome. And please tell folks a little bit more about you and who you are and what you do.
Okay, so like she said, my name is Yetunde, but it's Osho, not Oso.
Okay, I got it. Osho.
That's the silent H.
Got it.
Yeah, so I am the CEO of the Upper Room Events. I am also the CEO of Infection Control Solutions, as well as the creator of a new page called Pray Now. So since we're here to talk about the Upper Room Events, I have been doing event planning for about 6 years. I have been executing weddings, from social events to corporate events, internationally and nationally. I am a wife and a mother of 2.
Awesome. And where are you from? Give us a little bit of your background.
So so I'm born and raised in the Bronx, nationality Nigerian. So anyone that's from the Bronx, you know what's up.
I'm from Brooklyn, but we're gonna let y'all have a little shine tonight. You know, us Bronx people and Brooklyn people, we like 2 different ends of the world.
Yeah, but parents are from Nigeria, so I'm Nigerian descent. And Nigerian households and Nigerian parents don't play. So I come from a strict household, a strict background, a Christian home. But yeah.
Good stuff. So, and I'm glad you mentioned the infection control, because that part about you I discovered recently. And I'm like, this sis is not playing any games. She does big things. So, and I think it's important to talk about that as well, so that people know, number one, that you don't have to be one-dimensional, right? That you can have, multiple endeavors and be an expert and knowledgeable in many arenas. So can you talk a little bit about that part of your background and the company that you lead in that arena as well?
Okay, so I have a healthcare firm. I've been doing infection control for a good 15 years, going on 16 years. I left my job, my full-time job as an infection control practitioner. What we do is we make sure that the hospitals are following state regulations, as well as, what's going on with the COVID and all of that. I'm the one that's putting policies together for my ambulatory sites. So when I left that job in 2018, I decided to start a healthcare firm called IC Solutions. And so pretty much what I did at my 9 to 5 is what I'm doing with my clientele right now. So I have about 35 ambulatory centers throughout New Jersey and New York that I monitor.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so amazing. I just love, Black Girl Magic sprinkling everywhere. We are not one dimensional. We don't just have to do one thing. And again, like I said, I think it's important that people know that, because sometimes people feel like they have to choose, right? Like they have to pick one career over the other or one passion over the other. And you don't necessarily have to do that. And so I think that that's so amazing that you have been able to manage both of those endeavors. How has it been, particularly during this pandemic, in terms of the infection control?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I thought that infection control individuals would be needed much more than usual. But that hasn't really been the case, because really a lot of facilities, a lot of the ambulatory sites, and those are the sites that I manage, were shut down. So now up until last week, I am getting calls like crazy because facilities are opening up. And so I need to put together policies and put together plans of action for them to open up and educate their staff, make sure that they're doing right by their patients. Because now you don't know who has it, right? You don't know who has COVID.
Right.
People are asymptomatic, so you just don't know who's coming in your facility. So you need to have the proper things in place to make sure that the staff is protected as well as the patient.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how on earth did a public health expert and infection control expert get into event planning? How did that happen?
Wow. Okay. So now we're going to go back in history. We're going to go back in time.
Let's do it.
Because I literally, I've always been working, and I've always had a job since I was 13, but I've always had a business since I was 13. I was always selling something. So my in 2012, and I believe in 2011, end of 2011 into 2012, I prayed and I said, God, I want a lucrative business. I want something that I would be happy to come home to, or happy to just build, right? And so I did a party for my mother, a 60th birthday party. And it was fabulous. It was so fabulous that the person we had hired for makeup, she asked who did the party. So I said, I did. And she said, well, give me a number. I'm going to contact you. Anyway, she called me every week to see if I had started a business in event planning. And I wasn't even thinking that far. I just wanted to pretty much, celebrate my mom, right? And so she really consistently contacted me, girl, did you start? And so one night, literally, I had a dream, woke up from this dream saying the Upper Room events.
Wow.
Went online 2:00 in the morning, went online, Googled it, the name wasn't taken, registered event, right? And I called her up, I told her that I had started, and she introduced me to a publisher who had a magazine that was doing their Christmas party. Then she introduced me to a fashion designer. So I ended up started with my mother's event, doing corporate events, then started doing after that.
Wow. It's amazing, because we never know how our story is going to unfold or what our destiny would be, right? Something that you hadn't even really imagined or thought about has now blossomed into this tremendous endeavor, right? Something so much that it has allowed you, along with your other endeavor, to stop working full-time for other people, right? And so that's a question we get a lot that we always try to ask whenever it is relevant, in terms of how you were able to make that leap. How did you ultimately make the decision, and what steps or strategies did you take to transition from being a full-time employee to a full-time entrepreneur?
Yeah, so it was not easy, right? And initially, because I had a desire to leave my full-time job, to start this company, to start this business, and really go full force with it. I had already been planning events in the past, but to take the step to leave my job was really hard, because I liked it, right? We don't all like our jobs, but I had some parts of it that I enjoyed. And so May 22nd, I will never forget the date. May 22nd, 2018 is the day that I decided to give in my resignation, right? And,
Wow.
you know, please note for all the entrepreneurs that are online, it's not a quick fix. You know, entrepreneurship is definitely not a quick fix when you dislike your job, right? You just want to make sure that you know, the dreams of building something, the desire to start something, the desire to build your business is why you're really leaving your position, right? And so my husband and I really prepared. We prepared. You know, we made sure that our bank accounts, you know, was up to par. We had some investments, we had some stocks, we had some bonds that were in place. I literally became the jack of all trades as well. So not only putting together an event planning company and starting that, but also putting together and starting this infection control healthcare consulting firm on top of doing graphic and design work, you know, on top of educating newbies in the event industry. So that's pretty much how we were able to transition out of full-time to full-time business owner.
Yeah, and that I didn't even realize it was that recent, 2018.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes people think, well, you know, you can't really become successful until you leave your full-time job. But you had extremely measurable success doing both, right? Because I remember when I first came to know you, when I was planning my own wedding, and that was 2016, and I would have never known that you were still working a full-time job. You know, you had this amazing social media presence, your work was amazing, your references were amazing, you know what I mean? And so I think it's important that people know that it is possible to build, right, while you're still working full-time, and not feel like you can't.
And my full-time was not easy. I was managing 98 facilities in New Jersey only, and and at the time, I don't know what it is now, but I was the only Black female doing what I did. So it was a huge accomplishment, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I believe it. That's why I was so impressed when I learned about your work in healthcare, because that's, you know, we don't see many of us, particularly in that arena. I thought that was pretty amazing. So tell us a little bit about how you have had to kind of strategize or reorganize during this pandemic for your event business. You know, the event business has taken a huge hit. We have experienced it firsthand because much of what we do is events as well. And I'm sure as an event planner, you've had to make some changes or some adjustments. How has it been? How has it affected you?
Yeah, so, you know, the pandemic is something else. This is not an easy thing for a lot of business owners, right? And so a lot of individuals, as well as myself, have been strategizing. And so what we're doing right now is we've put together inclusive packages for our clients. You know, we've kept up with our customer service, contacting all of our old clients to remind them so that we're fresh in their minds that this is what we're doing. So if they know anyone who needs an event or anything like that, please give us a call. We've been staying educated and really keeping ourselves busy and becoming more creative with our platform, right? So doing all these live events, everything is on Zoom now, you know, with our clients, and everything is customer service now. And it's been that way from the beginning, but it's more trying to be in the forefront with our clientele and with our audience.
Yeah, good stuff. So for those who might just be joining us, just want to catch you up. Welcome. Aisha here chatting with Yetunde, founder of Upper Room Events. And if you have any questions for Yetunde, please feel free to drop them in the comments. We will be getting to them throughout. We don't want to miss out on your questions for this pro in the event space and just in entrepreneurship in general. So what do you believe are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when they start out in business?
So picking the wrong partner. You know, I feel that at times when you have that big idea, people they tend to be insecure with starting off as an individual by themselves. So they want to bring that person on board, right? And so if you're going to bring that person on board, that's fine, but just make sure that that person is at the same wavelength as you are. You know, I'm atypical. I have an A-type personality. So I want things done when they need to be done, and how they need to be done has to be perfect. I feel like I have the perfection syndrome, right? And so you want to find something who matches that. You know, you want to partner with someone who believes in what you're believing. So it's not just you focusing on building something, but that person comes alongside with you to also work to make sure that you're business is doing well. Because sometimes when you partner with someone and you don't know their work ethics and you're working together, you find yourself doing most of the work. Or you find that the other person is not at the same wavelength, that they want to do something else with your business or your firm. And so you just have to make sure that whoever you partner with, whoever you lie in bed with, right, really is at the same level as you are as it pertains to building your business. The next one is, I think for me, because I'm in the event industry, I thought I wanted to initially do decor. So I went and I purchased everything I could find. I wasted so much money.
Okay.
I bought 1,000 tablecloths, 1,500 chair covers. I bought everything that you can think of. I purchased, but I feel that you have to ensure that you know what you want to do before you head out and start purchasing all these items. And for me, I didn't do that. So do your research. Make sure that what you want to do is actually what you're going to set out to accomplish. Number 3, I think neglecting your branding, neglecting your company branding. People tend to focus on what your branding looks like online. But you are the brand, right? You are the brand. So if I am posting on my page all of these positive notes, positive inspirations, but I have a nasty attitude, you messed up your brand. Okay?
Right.
About the color.
Practice what you preach.
Right. The color scheme of your branding, how you market it, your customer relationship is so important. So you want to make sure that what you're showcasing online matches who you are when that person meets you. Yeah.
Y'all got that? Make sure you have the right partner. Don't do your research so you know exactly what it is that you want to do so you don't waste time and money.
Yes.
And don't neglect your branding. That is good stuff. That is good stuff.
And then waiting too long to launch. A lot of people have great business ideas, and okay, you want to do multiple stream of income with your with your business, but don't wait too long to launch, because if you wait too long, you lose people in the process. You lose your momentum. If you have a business idea and it's already, you started out with a product, showcase that product. If someone asks if they want to be a part of that, if they want to know more about what you're offering, go ahead and share that. Go ahead, just start building yourself until you have that final product, and even getting feedback from the people who are watching your page or who are a part of, your followers. Get feedback from them once you share that product online.
Right. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. I think sometimes people think that they have to have every single thing in place or all their ducks in a row before you can start. And sometimes you got to start with what you have and where you are. Yeah, definitely. So where do you think this entrepreneurship bug came from? Did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Have you kind of had to learn as you go, as you've gone? Have you taken a lot of courses? How did you learn to become an entrepreneur? And that's not just any entrepreneur, but a successful entrepreneur.
Wow. So, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 13. Even before that, I would be the one selling the penny gum for 5 cents. Back then, gum was 5 cents. So I always had it in me to do something, whether it was selling hairpins, selling shoes, selling bags, selling, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. It was just a gift. I don't know where it came from. I didn't learn it, but it was just something that was innate in me. But yeah, do I always, go out and search and build myself even more and sign up for education so I can uplift myself and so that I can be knowledgeable about my field? Definitely. So I constantly stay educated.
Yeah. When did you know you were onto something? Like in terms of the events, you started out with your mom's party. But if anybody's taking a look at your page, these are not your average events, right? These are very grand. Some might even consider upscale, high end. These are no, basement party bashments, right? And so I'm sure that, I imagine that, at some point you realize, okay, I'm pretty good at this thing, or we're onto something. Was there a turning point or a time when you realized, okay, we might be really onto something here?
Wow. So I think it was a process. Not really. You know, it was just a process. I started out doing decor, and then I went into doing ballooning, right? And then from ballooning, I was doing floral arrangements. And then when I realized I didn't desire to do decor anymore, that organization was my thing, I went gun ho to that. And then I looked at how I would want my wedding to be, because when I had my own wedding, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. You know, it was a nice.
Neither was mine.
You know, I'm Nigerian, right? I'm Nigerian. I have a Nigerian family. So when you have a Nigerian wedding, it's not about you; it's about your family. So we set out to do a 250 person wedding, but 500 people showed up. You know, so I told so I told myself, I said, you know, any client I book, I want them to enjoy their day. I want their wedding to be extremely fabulous as they are. You know, we have a brand, and our branding is luxury. You know, our branding is fab. I feel like our branding, although we may not charge, you know, we want to charge accordingly to the client that we're speaking to, but we still want it, regardless of what budget they have. We want it to be grand and beautiful and something that they will remember forever, you know. So what I had, you know, it was a good wedding, but I wanted theirs to be much more better than what I had. And so every time we look at a wedding that we're planning, we look at that wedding as if we're doing our wedding over again. So we go over and beyond for our clients, because we want their weddings to be better than ours. You know, and my wedding, when I say ours, I mean my own wedding.
Of course.
I've been married 14 years. So, you know, 14 years ago, it wasn't what it was. It was, we still had a good wedding, but it wasn't what.
Yeah.
It was among the guests that we had. Everybody and their mother was at my wedding. Seriously.
I'm sure.
I didn't know half the people that were there.
Wow. So if you guys have any questions for Yetunde, please drop them in the comments. We don't want to miss them. We want to give you a chance to get that firsthand advice from the sister who is doing amazing work. So tell us, how do you make it from day to day? What are your must-haves? Like, what are some things that you just have to have, whether it's for personal or business, that kind of keep you going or keep you functioning throughout the day or the week?
Wow, must have. So, that's a good question. Well, I would say must-haves. I have to have my water. That's so simple.
That's it. We don't have enough of it.
I drink water like crazy. Must-haves. I need to ensure I spend time with God. You know, so as early as when I wake up, that's the first thing I do is my time with the Lord. You know, other than that, it's not must-haves. It's just they're just there.
Are there any particular apps or programs or things that you use?
Yes,
for your business primarily?
For my business, I use Canva. I use RHOA, RHOA. As well.
What's that? Is that a design as well?
It's also a design website.
Okay.
Design app. I like to use Pick and Post. Pick and Post is fun. You know, literally you put your picture up on there and you add music to it. So I love that as well. If you notice, Aisha, with the flyer that you had given me, there was music added onto that. So I love using Pick and Post.
Good stuff. So how do you balance? You mentioned you're a mom and a wife. And we throw that word balance around a lot. I'm not even sure if it's a real thing. But how do you maintain some level of success in all of those different areas when you're managing so many things?
Yeah. So, you know, initially, I would say prioritizing. I prioritize everything now. It's so important that I do that. When I first started, and I'm going to be real on here, you know. So
be real. That's what we want.
Yeah, because I know that I know that there are women on here. There's wives. There's mamas on here. And so initially, when I started my business, because I am so focused. If I know what I want to do, I go for it. You know, so I don't see a challenge. I don't get scared of challenges. I take on a challenge. And so initially building my business, I was so focused on building it. And so my husband had to sit me down and he said, Yetunde, you're neglecting us. And I felt, I was taken aback by that because I said, neglect. How am I neglecting? I clean, I cook, I make sure my kids are fine, I take care of you, so I do what I need to do as a wife, and then I go on and I do my business. But I was neglecting my family, that relational interaction. Right. So that relational interaction initially, and this is going back 5 years ago, was lacking. And so I would be so focused on making sure things were done and then moving on to my business, whereas I should be prioritizing. So that's what I do. I prioritize. I make sure that things are scheduled. I make sure that I spend as much time as I can with my family. And then I kind of look at my life as a pyramid, right? And so within that pyramid, God is first, my husband comes second, my children, my family, my extended family, my parents, my siblings, then it's my business, and I make sure that I set time for all of those individuals. Yeah,
that's real. And it's important because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's definitely not easy. And I think sometimes people think it is, or we take it for granted. You know what I mean? And so we have to really be intentional about how we spend our time and what we do and what we prioritize, because sometimes one of those areas will fall by the wayside. We'll have a really successful business, but our kids are running amok or something like that. So it's really, really important. That's good stuff. Are there any books or resources or influencers or anything like that you would recommend that have helped you along your journey or anything like that?
I love John C. Maxwell. So John C. Maxwell, he has several books, but the book that I love the most is How Successful People Think. So his books are amazing. Just Google it. Is John C. Maxwell. I don't know if someone's asking for that. And so he details for you how you can learn to adjust your thinking and the ways you think to be more successful. So all his books are amazing. Yeah.
Good. We have a question from one of our sisters in business, Cam Swank. She's asking, how do you carve out time for yourself in that pyramid?
I do. So I do carve out time for myself, actually. So one of the things I had to do was to listen to my body, because initially, and going back to that pyramid, I'm part of that pyramid, so it is God. It's my husband, it's me, it's my husband, then everything else falls into place, because if I'm not good, no one else is. Right? So, in previously, I would have so much to do on my plate, and I wouldn't listen to my body. It came to a point where I had to go to the emergency room because I was just so overworked, and I was feeling chest pains. And the doctor said, "You're fine, but do you, suffer from anxiety?" And I said, "No." And then I realized, like, well, you're right. Maybe that time, because I had so much on my plate and I had so many things to complete, and these tasks were just piling up, that it caused me to go into a panic attack, and it caused anxiety, right? And so what I do is I do wind down. I take time for myself. I do have mommy days where my husband will go and take the kids while I'm in the house just resting and relaxing. I mean, yesterday I slept from 7 to 7. I ain't playing. I needed my sleep.
I know, that's right.
I was surprised I slept from 7 to, I was actually surprised that I slept from 7 to 7. But no one came to wake me up. I was left alone. My husband knew to do that, and to give me a chance to really take time for myself. Moreover, I always go back to, and I just recently watched this movie on Netflix called it's C.J. Walker, the story on C.J. Madame C.J. Walker. And even previously before watching that movie, but watching that put her successes to the side. She was so run down, to the point that she built this amazing empire, but she could not enjoy the fruits of her labor. She couldn't enjoy it, right? She died young. And so that always hits me, that hit me to the core, because it reminds me that you have to continuously put yourself first and make sure that you're, relaxing and you're rejuvenating your body so that you don't run down and you don't die before your time, because they're trying to build this empire, but then you're not, but at the end of the day, you're not going to enjoy it. Right. And so I make sure I do take time for myself.
Yeah, it's so important. I see so many people who work so hard for so many years, right? And then when it comes time to retire, they don't even get to enjoy it because they've either they gotten sick or died. It's the saddest thing, right? So that's why you got to enjoy it now. You got to live now. Take your trip now. You know, do what you can now because tomorrow's not promised. You know, we have to make the best of what we can. So, you know, you talk a lot about God and faith. We do also. We are unashamedly a faith-based business. And so what role or, you know, what impact has your faith had in your business growth, particularly during the difficult times?
Oh, tremendous impact. I wouldn't be doing any of my businesses if it wasn't for him giving me and downloading to me these ideas, you know, and putting people in my path to kind of guide me on what I should be doing. So consistently praying and fasting, you know, for my future, for my family, for myself, for the businesses that he's given me. You know, I ensure that whatever I do it with excellence and with him in mind. You know, I ensure that I do it with not only with excellence, but with my client in mind as well. Yeah. So he's first. He's first.
Absolutely. So we're going to be wrapping up soon. So if you have any questions for Yetunde Osho, make sure that you drop them in the comments. We don't want you to miss out on this opportunity to hear from this sister. She's so amazing and has shared already so many gems on how she has gotten to this point. Can you recall or share about any time where you failed or felt like a failure? And what did that teach you, or how did you bounce back? You know, I think we would like to think that it's always good and always easy, but I'm sure there have been some bumps in the road or maybe some mistakes or missteps or things like that. And how did you recover from that?
Yeah. Oh gosh, there was a wedding that we did 3 years ago, and it really hit me to the core. Because and it wasn't really based off of my responsibility. It wasn't our fault at all, but I felt it was, because I feel that every event that we do, it becomes ours. It is ours, right? And so this particular client, you know, was doing her wedding and everything, and I think she drank too much. She must have drank too much, and after we had. And, you know, after speaking to her and after, you know, calming her down during the entire process, there was a cultural barrier there. So she felt that because she was marrying someone of a different culture, she was upset that the other culture was taking over her wedding. And, you know, although I didn't see it, I saw it as a learning experience that I needed to take a step back with my clients, especially when there's two different cultures involved, to really go in depth and explain to them what they're going to be looking at. Although we went through a timeline, they knew, from my understanding, she's been with this guy for so long, she really didn't understand the culture. So I feel like that's, you know, event planners should, and that's something that we should do, is explain the differences in culture, what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, because we can't always assume that someone understands everything about the other, you know, culture.
Good. So what's on the horizon? What can folks look forward to? What do you have coming up for the brand that people can, you know, look out for?
So we have our wedding style shoot that's coming up. It's an amazing. We did a style shoot about 2 years ago, and it got published in 5 magazines. And our plan was to do it this year, but because of what's happening, we've had to push it back to 2021. So look out for wedding style shoots. If you're on here and if you are in the event industry, please contact me. I would love to collaborate with you. We're going to do more collaborations with other event industry individuals as well, professionals. We're going to do more weddings, more corporate events. So if you know anyone who's interested, please refer us. We'll be glad to take on their event and make it something that they will never forget. And then again, we're pretty much getting ready and preparing ourselves and strategizing, like I've mentioned before, for next year, because we know that we're going to get an influx of clientele, you know, that may have canceled their event this year or postponed to the following year, or maybe had not even planned on doing anything because of what's happening. So there's going to be a lot of events prayerfully next year. So we're trying to strategize with our inclusive packages for them.
I'm so glad you mentioned collaboration, because I think that that's not something we see enough of, particularly amongst us as women of color. And I'm sure in the event industry that there's sometimes a spirit of competition, because it can be a crowded space with a lot of people, working in that space. How have you managed to kind of mark your territory per se, or handle the many or the growth of event planners or event industry professionals over the year? And what role do you see collaboration in that?
Yeah, so I don't see competition. I really don't. I don't. That's something that I'm totally against. If I'm looking at someone else's work, I'm looking at it to inspire myself, to build myself, right, to the next level. So I don't like competing at all when it comes to that, especially in African American community.
Yeah.
I think it's nonsense. We should be collaborating more. So I do a lot of entrepreneur events, and I do that every year, right? And so when I do that, I'm bringing all of these event entrepreneurs, event professionals together to collaborate, to build, to empower one another, to utilize each other's skills. That's what we should be doing. There's no reason why I as an event planner cannot refer clients that I can't work with to someone else. If I'm booked on Wednesday and someone calls me for Wednesday, I'm calling another planner to make sure that, or I'm letting the bride know who else they can contact, So I feel like it's horrible, because when you're looking at the other counterpart, when you're looking at the Caucasian, event industry, they always collaborate. Why can't we do the same? Why can't we?
Absolutely.
And it boils down to ignorance. It boils down to the fear of thinking that someone is going to take your own business. Why? There is so much business in this world that we can all, get a piece of the pie. We don't have to compete against one another. We don't. Yeah,
absolutely. Like our motto says, when my sister wins, we all win.
Yeah.
And there's enough out here for all of us to eat.
Yeah.
We don't have to take anything off of anybody else's plate or anybody else's table. And I think the collaboration piece actually makes us stronger.
Right.
And makes us even more successful and more powerful when we get together and work together. So that's amazing. You also mentioned that in the past you had done some training or some mentoring for newbies in the event space. Is that something you plan to do again or continue to do?
I still do. So if anyone is interested, definitely. So it's on my website, and we do mentoring, for up and coming event planners. We do mentoring for up and coming event planners. We do internships. So if not only newbies, if someone has already been in the game and they've been in it for maybe 2 years, they can come on and intern with me. I'm open to that. I'm open to teaching the next generation. I'm open to teaching those who are in the game and maybe they may find themselves not doing as well as they would want to. I'm open to doing that. So that's something that we consistently and constantly do.
That's amazing. That's what y'all heard that. So she's giving you permission to contact her and you should. You take advantage of those opportunities. We have a question from our friend Lorraine, who says, what advice would you give new event planners or entrepreneurs feeling defeated during the COVID season?
That's a good question, Lorraine. Hey.
Hey, girl.
So I would say, keep on building. Keep on building, because this too shall pass. So set some goals. I like to set short-term and long-term goals. Where do I want to be a month from now? Where do I want to be a year from now? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? What haven't I done to build my brand, right? My business. Do I have a website in place? Am I good with my marketing? How can I reach out to more clientele? So those are all those things that we should be researching now that we have the time, because I feel that, I feel like God has given us so much time to build ourselves. So why not take the opportunity to do that? And so look at everything when it comes to your business. Just don't stay in one place, because I feel people do feel, not only the newbies, but I feel that everyone, initially was feeling defeated. you know, and then they looked at their current situation and said, you know what, I need to move away from feeling down and depressed about continuing this business, and I'm going to just continue wherever creative space I find myself in. I'm going to be a part of that to build what I have.
Right. That's good. That's really good advice. Because I think sometimes people think, well, just because the event is canceled, then I'm canceled.
No.
Right. And like everybody talking about 2020 canceled. 2020 is not canceled.
It's not canceled. I rebuke that. I don't play. I don't take that.
No, we still here.
Yes.
God is still here. So we're going to keep pressing. We're going to keep pushing.
Yes.
And it is not canceled. He is still blessing, even in this season. Yes, absolutely.
This time
absolutely.
is not wasted. It's not wasted.
Yeah.
Every day is a new day to start something new, to build your plan, to build yourself. Why not?
Yeah, even if it's about getting the rest that you know you've needed all year long and you haven't been getting. Whatever it is you need in this season, try to get it.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we're going to be signing off soon. Again, last call if you have any other questions for Yetunde. Let folks know how they can stay in touch with you, where they can follow you, where your website and all that stuff. How can they stay connected with you?
So please go onto my website. Website is www.theupperroomevents.com. You can reach me on Instagram, which is @upperroomevents.com. Again, I started this new page, this new venture called Pray Now. So it's @pray_now_. So yeah, just reach out to me, DM me. I check my DMs. You know, I hate when people be like, don't DM me. I check my DMs, okay?
Me too.
Reach out to me.
Like, that's what it's for. And if it's something crazy, I just ignore it. Yes.
Oh,
well, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you so
we
much.
really appreciate you. We're a huge fan of your work. We drool over your pictures, and we just love what you do. And so we wish you nothing but the absolute best of God's blessings as you continue and endeavor in your many ventures, which is just so phenomenal and so amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. This will, for those who might have joined late, of course, it'll be on our stories for the next 24 hours, but then also it will be added to our YouTube channel. So that link is in our bio. I'll share it with you too, Yetunde, so you can share it with your audience. Stay connected. Be sure to follow Yetunde and the Upper Room events so that you can stay connected. We have a lot of event planners in our network, a lot of sisters in business who are either new or more experienced, but we try to show them as much love as we can and provide them with resources as well. So I think you're an amazing resource for them. I know you are. And I really hope that some of them will connect with you so that y'all can collaborate and do some great work together. Thank you so much, Yetunde.
Thank you so much, Aisha. And I just want to let you know that your business is going to go international. So get ready for that event or whatever you're planning, because I don't know if you're planning it, but I see you doing something outside of the United States. And I can't wait to be a part of that. All right. Blessings.
Yes. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
All right, God bless. Bye.
Well, that was fun. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was amazing. Yetunde is the best. Again, if you came on late, you can catch it on a replay as well as on our YouTube channel. It'll be up there in a couple of days. Few quick announcements, then we're going to be out. If you are not on our mailing list, be sure to join. That's where you'll get the YouTube link. We share lots of amazing resources every week and updates. And so that's the best way to be sure that you don't miss out on anything, because y'all know how these algorithms work. And so we don't want you to miss out on anything. Y'all are so funny talking about come on with that prophecy at international. Well, I will say we have been considering some international locations, and we actually began some early conversations earlier this year. I won't tell you where yet because I want to make sure it's official, but what had happened was the Rona. And so it kind of put a halt on that, but I believe it. I receive and I believe that prophecy that it's going to happen. So as I was saying, make sure you're on the mailing list, and when you join the mailing list, make sure you check your spam folder, just in case that first email goes to spam. Add us to your safe list so that you'll be sure to get the emails every week so that you don't miss out on anything, okay? Halima, yes, girl, you coming international with us? Halima is one of our amazing ambassadors. She travels all over with us. She's the best. So that's coming up. Like I mentioned, our current collection of SIB Expo merch is going on sale next week. So check your emails for the links and the codes for that, because we have a new collection for spring 2021 that's going to be launching or dropping, I should say, in June. Y'all, the merchandise is so hot. But if you did not grab any of the previous merch, be sure to get yours. About my Black-owned business, When My Sister Wins, We All Win, Sisterpreneur, cups, mugs, notebooks, all that good stuff is there. Finessing My Success. We have limited quantities and supplies because it is the old collection, so you'll have to get the sizes and stuff before they run out. But we will make sure that you get that information next week, so stay tuned for that. Again, join the mailing list. The link is in the bio if you're not on there. And, you know, either chill in the house, like if you're like me and you have your daytime pajamas and your nighttime pajamas, you can be cute in your daytime pajamas. And then when you go out to the grocery store to run your errands, take your walk in the park, whatever, rep, you know, your support of Sisters in Business, because that is who we are and that's what we do. So be sure to look out for that. Again, for those who joined late, we also announced on our feed today that our Houston Expo has been postponed to spring 2021. So we will be sharing that soon in terms of the exact date. It is still the same venue, but the date is going to change. So look out for that. It's already penciled in, but we want to be sure some things are finalized before we announce it. So that has been postponed. We've already announced that, of course, our Newark Expo was postponed to September 18th and 19th. And we recently announced that the Atlanta Expo has been postponed to October 18th. We are continuing to monitor the situation and we'll let you know if there are any adjustments for Philly and the DMV area. Listen, y'all. First of all, I want to thank everybody for your support. Let me see how much more time I have. Okay, like 5 minutes. Thank y'all for your support and for your understanding and just your encouragement. It has not been an easy season. This pandemic has had a big hit on us, but we are continuing to press forward. So as we make these announcements and these adjustments, we just need y'all to roll with us, and we appreciate that you've been doing that so far. So it's not anything we want to do, but it's what we have to do because your health and safety is most important. So thank you for your support and understanding. To our vendors who roll with us, who just hang in there with us, thank you. We appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts because, again, your health and safety is the most important thing. I don't care, and I'm saying this seriously, I don't care how much money we lose, because we will and have lost some money. I don't care how much money we lose. We will not risk the health and safety of our community for a dollar. We are not in that business. So thank you all for your support and your understanding from the bottom of my heart, and from our team who spends hours on Zoom calls trying to figure this thing out. We appreciate you. So continue to look out for updates on our other cities, and we're just going to do the best that we can to continue to be a resource for you. We love you all. We pray for you every day, and we just ask that God continue to bless you and benefit you and keep you during this time and at all times. Lorraine and Yatunde, who said they're about to go buy their shirts now, don't buy them yet. Wait till next week so you can get them on sale, okay? Halima, you said you have your shirt on now. Take a picture and tag us, okay? So I can repost it. Simone asked about the pitch competition. Thank you, Simone. The pitch competition is still scheduled for September 18th in Newark, New Jersey. The pitch competition is happening. We will be announcing the finalists next week, y'all. We are so excited. Our team spent 2 hours on the phone, on Zoom, reviewing applications, going through criteria with our rubric and all of that. These sisters did not come to play. So our first pitch competition is going to be so dope. So make sure that you stay tuned. You can get tickets to the pitch competition on our website, and don't miss out on that. And yes, join us every Monday at 7 a.m. for our prayer cast. It's the live podcast where we pray because we believe in the power of prayer. And so Make sure that you register. It's only a one-time registration, and then you get the link to join us every Monday at 7 a.m. for 15 minutes of powerful prayer. We join together with women from all over the country, and it is a powerful time. God has shown up and moved amongst our prayer cast. So every Monday, 7 a.m., 15 minutes of powerful prayer. The link is in our bio. All right. I don't want it to cut me off. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me tonight, hanging with us tonight. Thank you again to Yetunde. And let's do this. Let's just keep doing what we do. All right. And remember that there's nothing that can happen to you that you and God can't handle together. So keep your head up. Keep praying. Let's keep supporting one another. And remember, when my sister wins, we all win. Love you guys. Bye.